wanted socialism are now crying for democracy because they see that it's not fair.
Well, they're
because
starving to death. They're eating.
They're starving
and each other, and I mean,
and they've seen not only are they going through that, but they've seen that this is repetitive. This happens every time that happens, and that's what pains me so much about hearing during the healthcare debate. Not the debate, but when they were doing the skinny repeal, I sat here and I watched it on my TV, and I watched them go through the vote, and believe me, it was a tedious situation to watch this Senate majority go through and roll call vote, and it really pained me to hear the people that said no, because these were people that campaigned that they were going to do this, and they voted no. However, during that, before that even happened, there was a senator from the great state of Colorado that came in and he said, look, before we vote on this health care repeal and replace, how about we just go straight socialized medicine? To hear that mentioned in our hall of legislative pinnacle, to lawmakers, to hear one of them even say that is the way we should go, was so disheartening to me. I could not believe that there was somebody, but I had a little twinge of admiration for that man. At least he said what was on his mind. Because these other people that are doing this shit in the background, and excuse my language, but they're working these backroom deals and stuff, that is exactly what they're going for. It was written into the law. As a matter of fact, one of the crafters of Obamacare said, a lot of people say this is a backdoor to socialized medicine, and he took a pointer and he said, no, right there it is. It's right there. It's not a backdoor. It's right in the legislation. And that was the legislation that we had to vote on before we could see what it was.
Yeah.
What happened to the American people? Did we lose our voice, or did we just go that stupid? I mean, really, what happened? Why are we voting for the same people that stabbed us in the back for the last 14 years? Why are we voting for them again?
And we still are. It is a chess game. They put their people in the right places, and then, you know, anytime, I don't even understand how it's, I don't understand how a politician can, with a straight face, say something like, you have to vote on the bill before we can know what's in it. How do you do that? What? And I've used this before, but how do you? And we're getting off on one little tangent here, so I'm going to steer us back on here in a second and let you finish up.
And I have something to say too.
I'm going to let you finish up, but
sure.
just one little quick tangent is: in no other form of business can you make a person enter into a contract, especially something that so much affects their lives, to the tune of, in some cases, thousands, and I'm going to say that, thousands of dollars a month, and I can provide proof if people need it, for health care for a family, when they promised it would be about the cost of a cable bill, when they promised you could keep your doctor if you wanted your doctor. You know, it was going to be the greatest thing. You could go online. And,
it was an outright lie.
You can get up on the marketplace there and just pick your plan. But it didn't happen.
It was an outright lie.
I have seen websites rise, and I have seen websites crash.
Right.
And never have I seen one crash faster than
in the marketplace.
And I don't mean just crash, go offline, but I mean not work to begin with. And
not just a 404, but there was a never was.
It's like somebody spent the night before framing this and linking things up and hoping they got it right, because it was not by any means. It was either designed to do that, because hey, single payer or bust, right?
Yep.
Or
absolutely.
Or it was one of the greatest. I really need because if you're throwing that kind of money to people in government, if you're throwing that kind of money out to people who do websites, I want in on some of that, please.
That's what I'm talking about.
Because I will do a much better job for you.
Hey, WCIR is all I got to say, brother.
Well, that was a good time. But get back into it. I'm done with that rant. But yeah.
Okay.
If I represented to somebody in a contract, well, if I told somebody they had to sign something, and it's before we got to the desk, I threw all these great things that were going to happen, but hey, you got to sign this little line right here before I'll pull the cover off the rest of this contract.
Yeah.
That's not how you do it, and that should not stand. It should not stand. And and I applaud.
Why did it?
Well, it didn't, because I applaud the president for mandating that Americans did not have to answer that tyrannical question about do you have health care? Yeah, okay. So I'm done. You go on ahead and go back into your speech there.
Okay, well, all I was going to say is, like I said, socialism leads to communism. That is the entire intent and goal of it is to enslave many people, and not only enslave them, but make them feel that they are beholden to their slave master. That, well, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have this bowl of beans that I worked all week for. I should be thankful for them. And I don't want to make this a theological diatribe, but however, that leads to godlessness, because now we're thanking the government for everything we have. And I'm sorry, that is not what true freedom is. If I owe the government because they're feeding me, because they're putting me in a home, because they're supplying me with my gray clothes that I love so much because they look like everyone else, I am not free.
I want to stop you.
And I would rather die free than live under that kind of tyranny.
I want to stop you because I knew you were going to go there. I know my friends, but I knew you were going to go there. So I have something pulled up, and I want to read this to you because that is a very good point, and that is that's one of the biggest reasons that this is so very dangerous. To use the term socialism even in a political movement is so very dangerous. So this is from 2014, September 2nd, 2014. Reuters. The headline is, Venezuelan Socialist Party swaps God for Chavez in new prayer. So, a member of Venezuela's Socialist Party has rolled out a variation of the classic Christian Lord's Prayer to implore beloved late leader Hugo Chavez for protection from the evils of capitalism. And this is serious. This is serious. Our Chavez, who art in heaven, the earth, the sea, and we delegates. Red-shirted delegate Maria Estrella Uribe recited on Monday at the PSUV Party Congress. Hallowed be your name. May your legacy come to us so we can spread it to people here and elsewhere. Give us your light to guide us every day, she said in front of an image of Chavez. Lead us not into the temptation of capitalism. Deliver us from the evil of the oligarchy, like the crime of contraband, because ours is the homeland, the peace and life forever and ever. Amen. Viva Chavez, she exclaimed to a pause. Now, though Chavez...
you just put an exclamation point to my entire diatribe, brother.
I knew you were going to go there, but let me finish. Though Chavez died of cancer in March 2013, he remains omnipresent in Venezuela. His photo is plastered all over the capital, Caracas. State TV frequently airs excerpts of his famously lengthy speeches, and supporters sometimes don earrings or pendants with an artistic black and white rendition of his eyes. Chavez won over many poor in oil-rich Venezuela, with massive social programs and frequent attacks of what he deemed a squalid business elite. Many feel a spiritual connection with the gregarious former soldier, who also hails from a humble background. Opponents blast what they see as a detrimental personality cult. They also accuse current President Nicolas Maduro of piggybacking off his predecessor's popularity to distract supporters from shortages of basic goods, an annual inflation of around 60%, and sky-high crime rates. Now, what they do, and I've heard a little bit more about this, I think I heard it on InfoWars. They were talking about how what they do in the schools is when they feed kids, kind of like the school lunch program here. Well, there you pray to God, and then you sit there and there's no food. So you pray to Chavez, the children. When I say you, the children pray to Chavez, and then they get the bread, and then and that's where it always goes.
Well, that's indoctrination, which is what they have to do.
Yeah, well,
they have to start with the young.
Well, but it's more than indoctrination. It's a sucking of the soul. It's
well, of course.
But not everyone has the will to succeed. That's another problem with socialism. They want to eliminate classes, but when the elite become elite because they dole out the funds, and then, even if it's an AI, at some point it becomes your, in an essence, your mana. It becomes that pillar and it feeds you, so you're obedient to it. You're subservient to it. You worship it, just like we do. Just like I read that. Not everybody wants to go past that, and that's not ideal for the human soul. It's not. We're not meant to be that way, and that's why America. Well, it was not.
Well, we're born with certain. We are born. All men are created equal. And we are born with certain unalienable rights, those of which are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, which are the three things that socialism and communism are dead set against.
Well, it puts you in that state where you're fat and happy, and it removes the incentive to work hard. No, because under communism you're not fat. Look at Venezuela right now. Look at it. You're not fat and happy. Capitalism makes you fat and happy. They were at one point until it tips, and then it's and then it's you don't put.
That's where it goes from socialism to communism.
Yeah. But here's
the community.
Here's the thing.
Where do you think communism comes from? It's the root word is commune.
But that's the state has control of everything, John, and that's that's never good. That's that's basically a governmental system.
Then where is that the community? If it's the state, where's the community? The community is the individuals in that community. It's your churches, it's your neighbors, it's your family, it's your loved ones. That's the community. It's not the government. The government is not the community.
That is where charity came from. In days of old, that's what you did. You went and you bettered the community somehow. You would go out and you would trim bushes, or you would clean up a mess, and they would give you so much. It was a symbiotic relationship.
Absolutely.
And
whereas these paid protesters are spewing the virtues of socialism, but they're not willing to go out, rather than hold up a sign and call somebody vile names, go out into the community and clean up an old lady's yard. Break her yard for her. That's more of a protest against the standard quo than what we have now.
I think we see what politics in the age of Obama phone does for people. And that's what socialism is. It's the big Obama phone of of
well, it's Facebook.
theory.
It's